Join me as I dive into the question, can Chris Brown really perform in Zimbabwe despite all the infrastructure issues? Let's find out. There's been a lot of buzz recently about the possibility of Chris Brown performing in Zimbabwe, with many fans excited at the prospect of seeing the Randy B superstar live on stage. But as we all know, Zimbabwe has faced its fair share of infrastructure challenges in recent years, and that's got many people wondering, can the country really pull off a high-profile concert like this? One of the biggest concerns when it comes to hosting a large-scale event like a Chris Brown concert is the suitability of the venues. Zimbabwe's largest stadium, the National Sports Stadium, has a capacity of around 60,000 people, but it's been criticized in the past for its poor state of repair. The stadium's infrastructure is simply not equipped to handle events of this magnitude, with issues ranging from inadequate seating and sanitation facilities to poor crowd control and safety measures. All of these factors would need to be addressed if Zimbabwe were to host a successful Chris Brown concert. Another major challenge Zimbabwe would face is transportation. The country's roads are notorious for being poorly maintained, and the traffic congestion in major cities like Harare is a nightmare. Imagine the chaos that would ensue if 60,000 people were all trying to get to the same venue at the same time. It's a logistical nightmare that would require a huge amount of planning and resources to get right. And then there's the issue of power supply. Zimbabwe has struggled with frequent power outages in recent years, which would be a major problem for an event that relies so heavily on lighting and sound equipment. You can't exactly have a concert without any electricity. The government would need to guarantee a stable power supply to ensure the event goes off without a hitch. Let's take a look at Chris Brown's past performances in other countries to see how infrastructure has impacted those events. In 2018, Chris Brown performed in South Africa, and the concert was a huge success. The venue, the FNB Stadium, has a capacity of over 90,000 people, and it's known for its state-of-the-art facilities and excellent transport links. The event was well planned and executed, and it showed that with the right infrastructure in place, a large-scale concert can be a huge success. In contrast, Chris Brown's 2016 concert in Jakarta, Indonesia was cancelled at the last minute due to safety concerns. The venue, the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium, had a capacity of over 100,000 people, but it was deemed unfit to host the event due to concerns over crowd control and safety. This just goes to show that even with the best planning, infrastructure can be a major issue when it comes to hosting large-scale events. Chris Brown has also performed in other countries with more developed infrastructure, such as the UK and the US, and these events have always been hugely successful. But in countries with more limited resources, such as Ghana and Kenya, the infrastructure challenges have been much more apparent. In these cases, the concerts have often been plagued by issues such as poor sound quality, inadequate seating, and even safety concerns. So what do industry experts think about the feasibility of a Chris Brown concert in Zimbabwe? We spoke to several event organizers and promoters who have worked with Chris Brown in the past, and they were unanimous in their assessment the infrastructure just isn't there to support an event of this magnitude. They pointed to the lack of suitable venues, the poor state of the roads, and the unreliable power supply as major obstacles that would need to be overcome. We also managed to get hold of a statement from Chris Brown's management team, who told us that while they are always open to performing in new and exciting locations, they do have to consider the logistical challenges involved. They would need to be convinced that the infrastructure was in place to support a successful event before they would even consider coming to Zimbabwe. So what does it all mean? Can Chris Brown really perform in Zimbabwe despite the infrastructure challenges? While it's not impossible, it would certainly require a huge amount of planning and investment to get the infrastructure up to scratch. But who knows, maybe it could happen. Maybe Zimbabwe will surprise us all and pull off an amazing concert. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts on whether you think Chris Brown should perform in Zimbabwe in the comments below. And if you want more music industry insights, be sure to check out our other videos.